I'm going to share an awesome little recipe using chicken, herbs, garlic, same as Colin's and Tom's, but this time using white rice and Massel chicken stock, which will enrich and flavour the rice and keep it nice and moist. First up, season our chicken. So in this case, we're using some chicken thighs, pasture-raised, free-range, from our friend Georgie at Brooklet Springs. Then we're going to pop a touch of olive oil into a hot pan. So you can just see a little bit of haze coming off the pan. So chicken straight in, skin side down. So it's important to get the pan nice and hot. If you don't get it hot enough, it's just going to boil and it won't colour and render that chicken fat. So whilst the chicken is colouring and rendering, we're going to chop some herbs. So we've got some thyme, a little bit of rosemary, and we're going to use some parsley stalks. Nothing too fancy about this dish, but it's super tasty. I have some thyme, so you can pick this off if you like, but the tips are actually quite delicate. So similarly to use the whole ingredient, I like to use the tips as well, which still harbour colour and flavour. So some rosemary, scrunch him up. So it's about a tablespoon of each. And there's our herbs. Let's have a look at our chicken. You can see it's beautiful and golden brown. It's lovely and crispy, and most importantly, that delicious chicken skin fat has rendered down. And we'll give this sort of 30 seconds to a minute on the flesh side. Right, so I drop down the heat, and now grab your plate, and we'll remove our chicken thighs. So that looks pretty spectacular. So that's what you want, like crispy chicken skin is a thing of beauty by itself. All right, so chicken out. Next, we're going to throw in about a whole chopped onion. Straight in. Little pinch of salt flakes. You want to sweat the herbs, the onions and garlic gently so they become nice and translucent, and it sort of brings out the sweetness of the garlic and the onions themselves. So if it gets too hot, just grab it off the heat. A little golden tinge is actually quite nice, but you certainly don't want to burn your onions. Yeah. Next, straight in with the herbs. And next, a decent amount of garlic, so 3 or 4 cloves. Now you can chop this if you like. You can use a garlic crusher. I like to use a microplane. So just grate that. And you can just sort of see and hear it sizzling away, and that's what you want. So there's no hurry, there's no rush. It's just going to do its thing. All right, give them a little stir. And of course, at this point, you could add other ingredients. You can flavour it with whatever you like. Maybe some fruit. Raisins work really well for a bit of sweetness. Maybe a touch of honey or different spices. Take it wherever you want to go. All right, next I'm just going to add a little bit of... so we've just got some white rice here. So this will just be the carb that we use instead of the sourdough that Colin used. So first of all, we'll cook this for about a minute. Just toast up the rice. Because it's such a simple dish, these little attentions to detail, they become amplified in your cooking. They really make a huge difference to the finished result. Finally, we're going to add a little bit of lemon zest. So again, using the microplane, just go in over the top. I probably wouldn't use the whole thing, or it tends to be a bit overpowering and become a little bit bitter. So that's the base. Next, we're going to add our wet ingredients. So first, a splash of white wine. And at this stage, you just give it a shake, give it a bit of a stir, and make sure there's no sort of clumps of rice. Clean down the sides of your pan. And then finally, we've got our stock. So we're using the Massel chicken stock, which is going to increase and enhance the flavour of the chicken itself. So we've used the stalks. Now we'll take half of our flat leaf parsley leaves, roughly chop these, and we'll wind some of these in as well. All right, chicken back on top of rice. So there you go. So pasture-raised chicken, rice, garlic, herbs, lemon, super flavorful and nutritious. So for someone like Tom, very, very important. Who knows, meals like this can lead to gold medals. Now we just need to cover the thing. So either a lid, or if you haven't got a lid, what I've done is when the pan was cold, I've kind of created a bit of a mould with a couple of sheets of tin foil. So foil on, take a bit of care, use a cloth if you like. And that's ready to go in the oven. So we're going to cook this at 180 degrees for 30 minutes covered. Take off the lid or the foil and cook for a further 10 minutes just to crisp up. And that's it. All right, so the chook should be done now. So we've had half an hour covered, 10 minutes uncovered, just to crispen up that skin. Carefully take it out of the oven. So you can see the rice has absorbed all of that delicious chicken fat, chicken stock, white wine. It's just starting to crisp up around the edges here. So we're going to cut through that richness with the juice of the lemon. And finally, flat leaf parsley. So roughly chop that. So fresh herbs over the top. Give it a little taste. That's so good. You know, a dish like this has so many variations. You could go with different spices, fennel seeds, add some currants for sweetness. But you know what? I'm happy with that.